Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas sunglasses, which we enjoyed.
They're hot.
The game began with a bit of a mess. Buffalo gets down there close. They go for it on 4th and goal. They don't get in. A 13-play drive for San Francisco, and Jeff Wilson gets turned away, so both defenses bend, don't break. Then, Zach Moss proceeds to hand the ball directly back to the 49ers. Fred Warner recovers, and so the Niners get a chance. Play action. Nick Mullins, I beg your pardon, finds Brandon Ayuk. And they capitalize on the turnover. Josh Allen, play action. Hand cannon. Gabriel Davis, gain of 22.
Look at that.
That is such a great look at a tremendous pass. Cole Beasley had an enormous game. Turns around right at the goal line. Touchdown, 113 receiving yards in the first, which is a career high for an entire game. Bills celebrating with Cole Beasley, who has his own line of fragrances at CVS. Check him out for the holidays. Off the deflection, it's a pick. Or is it? Richard Sherman, that was smart, because Stephon Diggs was ready to run past him. Veteran play. I'd rather take the 5 yards for the illegal contact than the 6 points for the touchdown. Drive continues. Dawson Knox gets in. Bills lead by 10. Past the midway point of the third, 7-point lead, doubles on a beautifully called, what's that route called, Steve?
This is speed route.
Speed route. Isaiah McKenzie, 24-10. Mullins, Ayuk, deep and playable. Gain of 49. Give it to the fullback. Kyle Juszczyk gets to the pylon. Niners hanging around, still within striking distance. But Allen was tremendous in this game. Clean pocket, got time. Niners secondary loses Davis, and it's a 17-point lead. Mullins finds Kendrick Bourne down at the goal line. Plays called a touchdown, but you can see he is down before he reaches the line. In 3rd and goal, and Mullins tried to sneak it in, but it was a false start, so they backed him up 5 yards, and then he's picked by Tre'Davious White. That's the second pick for the Bills' defense. And Allen's the story, obviously, offensively. The defense does enough. And we take a look at the AFC playoff picture, and it is loaded. No change to the seeding, but developments are ongoing. Bills maintain that lead over Miami ahead of a big matchup on Sunday with Pittsburgh. As for the Steelers, they remain number one for the time being, thanks to a better record in conference games. As for the Niners, who moved out of their home and have dealt with so many different injuries and starting lineups, they haven't complained. They keep swinging their head coach, Kyle Shanahan, on what went wrong on Monday night.
We needed to play our best, and I think that we were very close to doing it. And we just had a few things that didn't keep us out on the field. And when you do that versus an offense and a quarterback like that who's playing the way they are, and you don't get it back from a while, the game gets away from you. I think we needed to keep matching them, and it was frustrating because I believe, not taking anything away from them, they did an awesome job, but I believe that we were capable of that. And we had our times, which I think you saw at times, but we had to do it every time today, and we didn't get that done.
Louis Riddick, Brian Griese join us to talk about really Josh Allen's night. And Griese, I'll start with you again since you played the position. If you were to give me your best thoughts on his night, where would you start?
He was calm and cool, and we've known, Scott, that he's got the ability, he's got the size and the potential. The question was, could he do it consistently on a week-in and week-out basis? Could he lead a team, a playoff caliber team, and could he take that next step? And there's no question he did that tonight against a defense that was coming in, a top 10 defense, and everybody thought that they would give him trouble, but he was on point. He was good against the zone. He was good against man. And all night, it seemed like Robert Saleh and that defense didn't have an answer.
Louis, I love that
so much about.
I was just going to say, Louis, I love that you tweet out that you get a chance to sit down with these coaches. You get to pick their brain. You get to find out sort of what they're thinking that we don't ever really know, and you'd understand it better again than we would. But a guy like Brian Daboll, his coordinator, How is he helping to elevate what Allen is and maybe eliminate some of those hero plays to be what he can be that maybe only a few guys in the league can be?
Well, I think it's about relationships, and then it's about play calls, and I think it's about communicating expectations, which for a guy like Josh Allen, it's about this. Hey, look, every time doesn't have to be that hero-type ball. Every time you get outside the pocket, you don't have to put yourself in harm's way. He's taken some big shots over the course of his career. He really has, and he feels like he can take it because of the fact that he's a guy who's just built perfectly for the position. But Brian has done a good job, along with Sean McDermott, the head coach,
Sure.
along with Brandon Beane, the GM, of putting pieces around him to where now he can just see, hey, look, I can get the ball out of my hands quickly, get it to guys like Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley, and just let them go to work. I don't need to do it myself.
Lewis, let me stay with you for a second. And it's a day when Pittsburgh loses and Buffalo wins. So, I mean, you can do this whole shifting of power structure or whatever, however you want to look at it. But as we look at these last, month of a season heading into the playoffs, where do you see the Bills in the AFC?
Yeah, we were just talking about that. I think they're right up there. I think they are knocking on the door of being one of the very best, and they are going to challenge teams like Pittsburgh, and they could challenge a team like Kansas City, when they meet them again. And look, Kansas City took them to the woodshed a little bit when Kansas City went up there to Buffalo, ran the ball down their throat. But I think their defense is coming around. The offense is hitting on all cylinders. I think Buffalo has a lot to be optimistic about.
Fellas, how about a December game with the Cleveland Browns with something to say, man? Next week is a big one for the Browns. We look forward to seeing them and travel safely, and we look forward to our visit when it's done. Thanks as always.
All right. Thanks, Scott.
NBA season begins 2 weeks from Tuesday. James Harden been the subject of quite a bit of conversation and conjecture, interested in being moved to Brooklyn. Deal didn't come. Russell Westbrook was traded out of Houston, and now with camp underway for the Rockets, Harden is not with his team, and their new head coach called it what it is.
It is a setback. I mean, I have to be honest and understand that this is a setback, not having one of the best players in the NBA here. I've been in situations before where we had to hold out and just kind of handle each individual situation on its own merit and individually. So I take it basically at face value that he's not here. What the reasoning is on him. He's the one who can explain why or why not he's not here.
Stars have power in any sport, but nowhere is it more evident than the NBA. Anthony Davis didn't want to be in New Orleans anymore, and it made no difference that he had, a year and a half, maybe more on his deal. He got not only what he wanted, he got where he wanted. So for